Hola amigos, welcome back to my channel. This video is about my third month of Spanish learning review. If you're new here, let me give you a little background. I started to learn Spanish from December 2018 in Guanajuato, Mexico. I have studied there for 2 months. Before that, I didn't know any Spanish at all. Because it's such a valuable experience to learn a new language and have chance to practice it with locals in real life, I have been recording my Spanish learning journey from the beginning. If you haven't watched the previous videos, I have made a playlist of it. Besides, I also made video in Spanish. Basically, I use it for practicing purpose, and I think it will be fun if I look back in a year time. I don't have a specific topic for my Spanish video, but I have been doing something related to the food in Hong Kong, because Chinese food is not just about spring rolls, sweet and sour pork, and chicken fried rice. And normally we don't eat those in a regular basis. Okay, let's dive into my third month. For those who have watched my previous videos, you know that I went to Mexico City because I wanted to enroll a Spanish course from a private university called La Salle. I wanted to go there because it was recommended by someone I know. The language school that I went in Guanajuato was quite casual, so I wanted something more serious and organized so that I can compare which style is more suitable for me. For the details of the course, such as the tuition and the placement test, I already made a video about it. If you haven't watched it, you can go to the link up there. On the first day of the course, we gathered at the language department. We collected our books and waited for teachers to pick us up for taking student pictures because we needed a student card to access to the university. We can also enter museums at the student price or for free with that card. I observed that students there were in their 20s to 40s. They were more well dressed. I didn't see too many mature students like retirees. Later, I found out most of them are either working in Mexico City or they have a spouse in here. My class had 4 students, including me. The other 3 were guys. Each class was 3 hours with only 1 teacher for the whole course. The class was very conversational but without any topic. The teacher just let the student talk. She didn't really fix neither our pronunciation or our grammar till we asked her to. Basically, she just sat there and laughed every single day. I don't know if she's too lazy or she can't control the class. When she talked about irregular verbs, she couldn't explain that properly. Because I have learned it in Guanajuato, so I don't have any problem with it. But for classmates who didn't know about irregular verbs, they looked so confused. I don't think they can even learn that if they continue studying in that university. Obviously, she doesn't know how to teach because I've seen how others teach irregular verbs. They are more systematical and organized. Yes, irregular verbs you have to remember by heart, but if you learn it properly at the first place and memorize it, your life is much more easier. We had purchased 2 very expensive books, like $51. We rarely used it, and she didn't teach us much new materials other from the book. After 4 days, I couldn't stand it anymore because 1/3 of the course has passed and I learned nothing. I wrote an email to the office and explained the situation. They arranged me to another class in the same level on Monday, which was the second week. The class was for students who studied there in the last term. The teacher was a bit more sensible. You could see that he could control the class a little bit better, but still he didn't teach much. One day he just used the last 5 minutes of the class to copy the information from the book to the whiteboard. That's it. No practical conversation or homework to follow up. The next day was supposed to be the midterm. I felt so weird because I learned nothing from the last 7 days, which were 21 hours. So what are they going to test me? I wrote an email to express my disappointment. I asked for a refund because the course had been wasting my time. On their course description, they said they would balance the grammar and conversation. However, that was purely conversation. They were not selling of what they said. I got no reply, then I sent the email again and asked for a reply. The woman asked me to meet her in the office. Basically, that woman was just defending the class. She just kept talking over me while I was talking. She asked me to meet her, but she didn't listen. The whole conversation was not present, and that woman didn't have any manner at all. At the end, she said they have no refund system and forced me to leave. At the beginning, I didn't expect a refund, but I did expect a reasonable explanation. But after that so-called meeting, I definitely need to fight for my right. I emailed another person who is related to international students and explained this terrible situation. I got a reply from an admin person and promised for a full refund. Isn't it odd? Then they told me to collect the check in 2 weeks, but it ended up in 3 weeks. But the lady who was taking care of my case, they followed up with me and assist me to collect the check. Because I want to include the whole refunding part in this video, that's why this video is coming so late. When I was in Mexico City, I was living with my host daughter. She is a professor in a university, an interpreter, and a Spanish teacher for corporate. Besides Spanish, she can speak English, French, and Portuguese. So she has very good experience on learning and teaching other languages. I regularly talk to her about my situation in school. She explained to me that some schools just let students talk in class. She has seen many foreigners who have been in Mexico for a long time and cannot speak Spanish properly. It means they can speak for communication, but there are many grammatical mistakes. The reason is because they just talk but never build a foundation by learning grammar. And some students just stick with one school and they don't know they can receive more and better. I think in the old days, if you want to learn a new language, all you can do is talking to people. Sometimes it is due to illiteracy, but nowadays we have wiser ways of learning. There are many organized systems for higher education institutes, so why we can learn things in a more organized and effective ways. So that's my experience of month 3. In conclusion, I learned nothing from La Salle. I think they should either terminate the course or hire new people. Even though such a thing happened, Mexico overall is still wonderful. I met very kind hosts. They take care of me so well, and I met a few travelers who offer me their contacts or even free recommendation. Life is never perfect, but I'm so thankful of all the experiences. Currently, I am editing some videos of Micheal. Hopefully, I can show you an interesting island and some butterflies. And I would like to do a Spanish video in this month as well. So I'll see you next time. Bye!